All right, they can hear us now. Hello,
Welcome back,
chat.
everyone. It's time to go deep into another banger of a chapter, man. 1154. One Piece just dropped. Honestly, I haven't read anything. Unlike most chapters, I kind of get a bit of spoilers here and there. But I try to avoid this chapter once I heard a confirmation. I don't know. I just know one thing about this chapter, nothing else. About is a reveal about Rox D, Xebec, and a confirmation to what we've been saying for a long time, guys. He is the father. He's the dad. He can't escape these allegations. He's not just our theory that he's not just Blackbeard's father, but he's multiple. He's basically busting all our. Oh, I can't say this. He's been
Yeah,
doing
we're on
all these
TikTok.
sort of businesses everywhere, and now he has many kids, multiple children, and it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so we're gonna break it down this stream, and let's see how it goes. Yeah, so we read the chapter, Sid.
Yeah, we can read the chapter.
Okay. One more time, guys. If you want to read along with us, see the images, rules. Come on our Discord server. We'll be on stage right now, and we can share some of the raw panels. Okay, so the chapter starts with a cover page. Ocho takes Yamato to the grave of a hero from West Blue that was raised in Ringo. So again, we're getting these amazing panels that's going in. What's explaining what's happening in
Panel,
Wano.
guys.
Let's move past that because we don't. Let's be honest. That's not the main interest there. After Big Mom's incident, Elbaf was hit by a disaster like fires, storms, or famine. When desperate giants was about to attack, Ida and Hydrodin, King Harold returned in time to protect them and brought foreign aid to help Elbaf. Astrid died from an illness before Harold returns. On the other hand, Ida opened a bar in the underworld. So, if you guys don't remember, last chapter, Loki got thrown into the underworld, and my guy at freaking how old was he? Like, you don't even know, he's not even 1 month, and he's
Day
like
old.
beating
He
up.
was a day old.
Damn, bro, he's doing more damage than most freaking captains, and he's just climbing back out to save his life. So that's what happened last chapter.
And
But in the
these are monsters. These monsters of Elbaf are like at the level of like the beasts that Luffy was fighting during his training arc in Ruskaina. So one
yeah,
day old Loki would have clapped up year 2 Luffy, year 3
I,
Luffy.
I
Imagine
think he would
that.
have. I think even
Imagine
Gear
that.
Free, no Gear Free. I think Gear Free Luffy couldn't even do much damage to these guys because I remember that he needed Haki. He needed actually
Exactly.
master
Yeah.
Haki. So how did he do it? I think he has more abilities than what meets the eye. I think his eyes has some powers, or we just
Yeah.
don't know yet.
Did you listen about the theory I had where those eyes it could be similar to how Shirahoshi, her Poseidon powers. We know that like me and you have this theory of like everything in One Piece world, everything like all the powers go back to the power of Haki and life energy, right? And the soul energy. And Poseidon was born like genetically born with this power to utilize the Sea Kings. That's why she became an ancient weapon. What if Loki, for him being like the descendant of the serpent bathed in blood, his eyes have the power to like command all the beasts of the land.
I would buy that. I remember it was one of my. I like one of this legend guy named is Dak Sake. If you don't know him, he did an amazing video about Pluto and how Pluto is like a mole. And but one idea was Pluto, just like Poseidon, can control.
Because
Um,
we know where
different.
Pluton the ship
Yeah,
is. It's in Wano, but who's the driver of Pluton, right?
yeah, and Pluton is a massive ship. It's not just a small
Yeah.
ship, right? So yeah, I
Yo,
mean,
you
like
might be cooking here.
it could be. He could be like the next. Was it like you know how you said he's gonna join the crew and his role is gonna be like the Smith. But
Craftsmanship,
I know
yeah.
that Frankie's role is the
Yeah.
Smith, so I don't want him to take that position. But still, nah. But there could be something there. There could be something there. And chat, what's
But
up,
I
man?
think he
Jack
actually
Sensei,
killed
what's up?
the monsters down because they showed a decapitated head as well.
You can say, yeah, yeah. There was
Look
a
at them.
decapitated head
Yeah.
falling down. That's
So I
true.
So
think
That's
he
true.
I think he's
actually
ripping it
like
out with his hands, isn't he? He's just breaking it. He's just smashing it
That's
because
insane.
it's pure power. It's pure power. Yeah, what's chat saying? I haven't. So just a shout out to chat, Jack Sensei, bro. I didn't believe it when started to spill on X, but I just seen raw pages on their design. Yeah, I just saw a little bit of pages. I don't know yet. We're gonna check it out in a bit.
Look at
One
these
Piece is
beasts.
real.
Oh my god. I'm showing like the Elbaf beasts on
Skills
screen.
Casa, yo, who's the owner behind the channel, bro? Guys, there's a whole story behind it. But me and Ardal, but Sid and Harrison jumped on board, so it's like a collective now. We've got a whole team. Um, and maybe Imu did something with Ida once Loki was in a room. Nah, I don't buy that. I don't think it's anything to do with Imu. I believe it's honestly like
It's the Giants
like
lineage.
Poseidon. Yeah, it's a Poseidon situation. Like every 1,000
Yeah.
years, the king of the sea gets reincarnated. So similar what Sid was just mentioning about um a reincarnation process where Loki might have been like it must be in a prophecy from 1,000 years ago that he just came his will, the person that was Loki's embodiment, it was reincarnated.
Yeah.
Um yes, yes,
Especially
yes.
especially if you look at the timelines, right? Like currently in Luffy's era is where everything that has been prophesized 1,000 years ago has been happening. And then if you look at Luffy's age, Luffy and Loki's age are it's basically the same. Loki would be like 22, 21 years old if he was a human. And and for giants, the prophecy started up like a 3x times earlier because
Three
they have a
times.
3x time dilation not only on their island but their bodies too, right? So it all
I
kind of
like
like
that.
fits together.
No, that's a good take. All right, let's continue. Yeah, let's continue this
Yeah.
chapter. Okay, so when desperate giants was about to attack Either and Hydrogen, King Harold returned in time to protect them and brought foreign aid to help Elbaf. Astrid died from illness before Harold's return. On the other hand, Either opened a bar in the underworld. 56 years ago, Harold went to the reverie, but the government ignored him. Back in Elbaf, Yarul, or Jarul, talked to Harold about the valley, or about the Galilei. The name might be
Gal-
slightly different. A group of ancient giants.
Remember,
And now,
Galila is the shipbuilding company of Water 7 that
yeah.
Iceberg and Frankie and all of them were part of, right? But this is a
Oh,
completely different shipbuilding. And you see the links to Loki now. You see the links to
oh
Loki now. He's the
shit!
driver of Pluton.
Oh,
You see the
oh,
shit I was cooking.
bro. Bro, and what I was saying earlier about him being Pluton's, sorry, him and being part of the, what's it called again? Controlling the beast, and Pluton basically representing Poseidon, how Poseidon controls the Sea King. Pluton possibly can control the sea, like
Controls the
the beast
earth,
on the
and
earth.
then Uranus is up in the sky, blackening out the
Right.
sky. Hey,
Bro, this is
that's it.
actually this is sick. This is sick. And you're right, Galilei. Remember these guys who Frankie was part of, right? These crew were actually rebuilding the schematics or hiding
They
the
had the schematics
schematics.
of
Yeah,
Pluton.
so they must know the bit of the history. So this is actually crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, a group of ancient giants and non-giants shipbuilders who were captured possibly by the government. Astrid's
And you know
sister.
why they were captured by the government? Because the government has been after Pluton and the ancient weapons for decades now, for centuries now, right? So it
These guys
makes
are the
perfect
OG.
sense. Yeah.
Guys are the OG.
And then
Right.
do you think that the reason Iceberg started the Galila company, like the Galila company had a link with these giants, and when the government captured the giant, because the Galila of Water 7 is also like an old company, and the when the giants got frozen, the Pluton schematics, it was given to Tom, the shipbuilder, because Tom was alive around this time. Tom is old as hell. He built Roger's ship.
This is my take. I think Tom's brother, if you remember when they went to the Fisherman Island and Tom's brother also was a shipwright. And remember, he was
He was
he left
coding
a
the ship.
message. Yeah, and he was the coating of the shipwright, and he left a Tom's family. I think had some knowledge of the shipwrights from the past, and maybe they were the descendants of part of this crew. Remember, it says ancient
And we
giants and
know
non-ancient giants shipbuilders, right?
And we
So
know for some reason Oda decided last chapter to mention that King Harold visited Fishman Island on his journeys.
so he
Remember that?
smashed he smashed a fish girl, right? By accident, right? It
Yeah,
happens,
okay, I
right?
don't know about
Yeah,
that
and
because we
then
know
his
that Harold
descendant.
Yusuf. You see, you have to understand it takes Harold at least 20
Yeah.
years to
Oh yeah,
busting
Sid went on
blanks.
a rant
Okay,
in the last
20
chapter that we
years
have
of busting
watched.
blanks until something actually happens.
But no, but for real, so I do believe, yeah,
He
and I
sat and
said this many
calculated
times
everything.
already. But no, but you remember the theory I said that long time ago? We're talking 1,000 years back, yeah. The conception of
Second
these,
world.
yeah. Let's say the first. We're talking about the first world
Oh, the
before.
first world. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before fish people were even in existence, I said there were giants and they were like creatures, there were beings in the world that they had to survive a volcanic eruption and catastrophe where the earth at that time was being destroyed. So to survive, some of them had to adapt. And some of them made wishes to the wishing tree and they gained abilities, but some of them went underwater. We know that because remember that Noah, they went from the land, they went under the water. And under the water, they made a home. Eventually, they adapted and they made a home for themselves. That's my how I understand it. But what if, yeah, the giants' ancestors that made Noah and also made Pluton are one of the same? You get me? They're part of the same group, the Galila.
Oh,
Yeah, and the
yeah.
Galila made more because the
Wait,
shipwrights,
wasn't
right? So
Noah like a into Pluton, like a blue?
no,
Have I,
I
I've
also
read it
know it as a
somewhere.
separate ship. I also know it as a different
No,
No,
it's
purpose.
Noah,
different
Then
thing.
Noah is a different ship only, but I feel like somewhere, I don't know why I get this thing that Noah was like a blue, or is like a, no, that was the Ark Maximus, not Noah.
yeah, Arc
Yeah, the
Maxim.
Arc
Yeah,
Maxim.
Yeah, the
I
Maxim.
think Enel's Arc Maxim is a dummy Uranus
yeah.
and owns the skies. Right?
I
Oh,
think so
Yeah.
too.
Blu-ray, yo, Blu-ray's always
Oh,
in
shout
chat.
out.
He donated $5. Thank you so much, Blu-ray.
Bit emoji as
Also,
well.
another thing from chat, Gareth in chat mentioned, why didn't the government during the reverie just capture Poseidon, Shirahoshi?
I don't think they know. They don't
Yeah,
know that she's Poseidon. I think it was kept a secret even now. Not many people know about her powers.
exactly.
But yeah, let's move on now. But guys, Shaggy, where's Ardal? Bro, I'll tell Ardal to catch up to One Piece before it ends. Hopefully, in like 5 years' time, yeah. When One Piece the last final episode drops, we'll all be on stream and we'll be all reacting.
2031, that's when One Piece ends.
2021, yeah.
That's
All
my
right, let's
bet.
continue. I actually buy it. All
Yeah.
right, so 56 years ago, Harold went into reverie, and we saw that. Okay, Astrid's sister reared Loki and abused him, whilst Harold was focused on rebuilding Elbaf. Yeah, 48 years ago, Loki unleashed some giant beasts on the villagers. But when
What
he
does
saw how
reared
others,
mean?
yeah, what is this? But when he saw how other childs helped Hydrogen, he realized how alone he was. Oh, okay, that's sad. Suddenly, Rock's pirates appeared in the underworld and asked Loki if they were in Elbaf and if Harold
Oh,
was
it just means
around.
to take care of a child as they grow. Like, so Loki
Rare, didn't it? Yeah.
grown by like the evil aunt.
So you thought it's actually not too far from what we were saying last chapter. We were saying that it's going to be
No,
Hydrogen's mother, but it
yeah,
was
I thought it
yeah,
was Harden's mother
yeah.
would take care of him. Man, feels bad.
Okay, so 48 years ago, Loki unleashed some giant beast on the villagers, but when he saw how other childs help Hydrogen, he realized how alone he was. He's basically Naruto, right? He's all alone. He's trying to cause havoc, trying to get attention so can get friends, but nah, no one's buying it.
He
Suddenly,
is
rocks.
a child of prophecy. You know that because there is a
Yeah,
prophecy that he's gonna kill his father.
he's
Yeah,
Naruto, bro.
technically, yeah, he is a
Yeah.
He's the
child of
child of destiny.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, this is why he started liking rocks when rocks dropped in, right? I guess he was like trying to find attention, he wasn't getting it, and then suddenly another outcast like him comes into the fray. Suddenly, rocks pirates
Look what
appeared.
it says. Yeah, 48. Oh wait, actually continue. You're not there yet. Are you
Okay,
there
it's
yet? Like
no,
48
yeah, not
years
yet.
ago, Loki unleashed some of the giant beasts on the villages.
Yeah,
He
I'm
unleashed
there.
the giant beasts. Like
So he had
was he
control over them.
controlling them?
I think so. Yeah, I
And
think
they are
remember
his
we know it.
friends now. Remember,
Yeah, we
when
know.
Luffy showed up, they are his friends. He was mad
It
at
makes
Luffy
sense
and
though.
them.
If you throw someone, this is actually tested. If you throw somebody or as a child into the forest, they adapt. I think there was a study done about a wolf boy where this boy was deserted into a forest. For some odd reason, he didn't die. He was raised by wolves, and he was speaking like a dog, like a wolf. He was moving like a wolf, and he was still alive. Like 6 years in, he was still alive, like Mowgli from Jungle Book. So in some ways, yeah, I think Loki did the same. He kind of made the
adapted
beast.
to his surroundings.
Yeah, he beast became his siblings. That's why when the dog died, when it was got beaten out by Gunko, he was so angry. He said, "Remember, I'm gonna kill you for that." Anyways, it's revealed that Rox met Harold at the Reverie 8 years ago, 56 years from the current time. But after Rox killed a Marine admiral and became a wanted man. So this proves, yeah, look, this statement right here proves that Rox possibly wasn't even a pirate at this point. When he went to the Reverie 8 years ago, something must have happened where Rox became a pirate from then on. Yeah? It could be that maybe he came with his wife. He was the leader of his country. He was a king. He came with his wife, and maybe the celestial saw his wife, said, "You know what? You kind of hot. Let me take you." And they took his wife. He got angry, and he killed the admiral for trying to
Who tried to
defend,
defend?
the
Yeah.
capture of his wife. Same thing which parallels what happened with Shirahoshi. You get me? And when that
Yeah.
happened, yeah, Rox got pushed out after killing the man. He got pushed out. He had to run away, but he lost his wife. But his wife obviously gave, eight. Let's calculate this. 8 years ago, right? That's how many? 56 years ago. How
56
old is
years.
Blackbeard?
Uh,
How old is?
40 years ago was God's Valley, if that makes.
You
That's
know
when
who is almost 56 years old?
Who?
Monkey Deadbeat Dragon.
Yeah.
Also
Bro, my bad.
Akainu. What if Akainu's father was killed by
Oh yeah,
Rox?
you were saying something about Akainu, right? You think Akainu
Yeah.
will be
What do you think?
I
Because
think it could happen. It could be.
you
It could be
know?
possible because this is the same timeline.
Akainu's dad was the admiral.
Okay, so Shaggy, thanks for that. So Blackbeard is 38 years. So the idea is that what's it called? Rock slept around, yeah. So we can come to that in a bit because of the similarities to looking at
Rox has
Buggy.
other children too. Blackbeard daughters. Because in an SBS,
His sisters, right?
yeah. So in an SBS, Oda drew Blackbeard's sisters. That right here. Look at this. Yeah. And because Shanks is shocked that he has sisters who are baddies.
No way. This is
Yeah.
Wait, where is
they
it?
don't look like that.
Concept, and this is supposed to be Blackbeard's mother, I think. And look, and those are his sisters.
Oh shit, this is actually canon.
No,
I
yeah,
thought the
this is
sisters,
canon. No, this
the
is
drawing.
real.
I know the sisters canon, but I don't think the drawing is canon.
No,
I
it's
didn't even
canon.
know the sisters are canon.
Oh shit. But
No, because Shanks-
there's two ideas here, yeah. Either his sister got nabbed or his wife got nabbed. Yeah? So either way, I think they're all related. It's a relative thing. So it makes sense. I'll tell you why it makes sense here that Rock's family member got nabbed and it could be related to Shanks in a bit. But let's continue reading. But damn, see, looking kind of, they look normal as kids.
yeah.
I can't lie.
They look
All
like
right.
Nami and Nojiko.
That's sad, man. I feel bad for these guys. And anyways, yeah. Okay, so we see Rox D Xebec'S full face. He has two-tone hair and looks similar to Blackbeard, and that's because Rox was Blackbeard's father. Now let's actually see the panels here now. Yeah, we're gonna go through the panels. This is the same time. So Hydrogen was so Hydrogen's father was not in town, right? So this all happened when Big Mom just went all ham during this moment, and Loki got thrown into the gutters during this moment. Loki straight up looks like a demon, man. Oh my god, that's a
Also,
devil,
wait,
man. I can't lie.
I think on Reddit there's a bigger proper.
Yeah, there's way more spoilers, Yusuf. Let me link it
Is
here.
it? Send me that
Yeah.
that spoiler link.
It's like
But
there's a lot more in
I
about
sent
this.
it.
okay, we're gonna
I
read
checked my
the full
Nicktoons.
trans now. If this is it, if this is the full trans.
I think it is.
Yes. Oh shit! Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
might
this
be.
is the full read on trans. I
Okay, let's
thought
see,
that website had it.
Oh, this is much better. Okay, this is amazing now. Guys, we're going to read the full trans. But before we read the full trans, because you guys can't see the images, so those on Discord, let's just quickly breeze through the images, then read what's going on. So yeah, my guy is a pure
Wait,
demon.
before we do that, Alchemy in chat. What is bro talking about? Bro said Shanks greater than Vista, who is greater than Mihawk. Are you slow, bro? Did we not
What?
just see? Does Xebec have a sword? If Xebec has a sword, you know what that means, Yusuf. Mihawk
He's the
upscale.
strongest.
Mihawk upscale.
But you know, Wester beat Mihawk here. Why do people think he beat Mihawk in that fight? Like, I think Mihawk
Mihawk
wasn't even
upscale.
trying. Because deep down, I believe Mihawk didn't really give a shit. And he didn't want Ace to die. Like, I mean, he didn't care too much, right? So I doubt he would go all out against Wester, in my opinion. He was playing about. You think Wester was actually better stronger than Mihawk?
I don't think Mihawk was serious at all during
no way, no
Marineford.
way.
I don't know what people are smoking. He was just there as an obligation for his
Yeah.
role as a warlord.
100%.
He wants
Okay,
to live
Melo
a slow life. This is not how he wants to battle. Yeah, go on.
Mellow King 22, shout out for the donation, $10. I appreciate Get that. Do we know if Rox has a devil fruit? So when
I
Paramecia.
think he has the Yami Yami no Mi. That's how
Even I think at this
Blackbeard
point.
knew about the Yami Yami no Mi, that it was his father's. You remember, Blackbeard was an
Yeah.
orphan, and then he got picked up by Whitebeard after finding out he's Roxy Xebec'S son. I think he idolized his father. I think Blackbeard and Shanks, they're gonna be like the opposites of each other, right? While Shanks went against his family lineage, forsook like the celestial side of his blood. Meanwhile, Blackbeard wanted to become like Roxy Xebec. He wanted to take over Beehive. He's obsessed with Roxy Xebec because why did Blackbeard go to Beehive? Remember, to get Beehive as his pirate headquarters, the Rocky Port incident had to have happened, where Kobe, Law,
And
and
Fullerlet.
Blackbeard had to fight off Wang Xi, one of Roxy Xebec's like lieutenants, to get the island, like Beehive Island, right?
You're
So
talking
I
about
think,
Fullerlet, right?
yeah, and
I
even his
agree.
ship
Like
is
I think
named
he
the
wants.
Saber of Zebek. So all of that
Yeah.
together, I think Roxy Zebek had the Yami Yami no Mi, and
Plus,
that's how
on
he
top
was
of
able to
that,
defeat the
also,
Admiral. Yeah.
on top of that, also Whitebeard probably went after the Yami Yami for this reason. That's when Blackbeard killed Thatch and all. I think
No, I
Whitebeard
I,
knew
I I
like
thought
this
I
could be his.
thought that just found it by chance, right? Like they
No,
weren't.
I'm
Do
pretty
you
sure.
know
Like
why? I'm in the middle of this whole theory. The reason why, because we know that Yami Yami no Mi with Blackbeard using it, it was a viral sensation. We saw him use it to get in the Marineford arc. Garp was there. The Garp was there, and Garp definitely fought Rocks in his prime. And the way I see it is that it would have. I don't know. He could have mentioned it. He didn't maybe have the need to do that. But Garp didn't say shit.
That's why it
Sengoku
even
makes sense.
Sengoku
Sengoku would
didn't
have
say
said
shit.
something too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen,
Yeah,
listen.
Sengoku
you're
would have
right.
said something too.
Well,
He would have
Oda,
said Rocks is
maybe
back.
maybe maybe they did say something, but Oda chose to not show it
Could be. Another reason I think
because
is
it
maybe
makes sense.
it could be possible though.
It makes sense that two hockey men were able to defeat the anti devil fruit, right? Like the Yami Yami no Mi. And
I
and
don't know why.
and we know,
I feel like he has a zone though. I don't know if look, I still believe that
well, the
the
Yami
Yami
Yami no
Yami
Mi could still be his own
be a
type.
zone. I know people are saying that, but I don't know. Yeah, it could be possible. I do believe that he does have a devil fruit regardless though. Whatever it was, it's definitely it could be a zone. I do believe it's a zone, but he has a devil fruit for sure. Yeah, let's continue now. And the reason why, I tell you another reason why, because when they went to the God's Valley, I don't believe he tried to take any of the fruits. He wasn't serious about the fruits. He could have been the person that is more obsessed about these treasure. But in the way, it looked like a treasure was stolen from Fullerlet
Look
and
at this.
taken to
Look
God
at this
Valley,
in the wiki, yeah.
and it
Look at this.
wasn't a fruit.
So the wiki says decades ago, Marshall D. Teach read about the Yami Yami no Mi in the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia and hunted for it. He joined the Whitebeard pirates as he believed his chances of finding the fruit would greatly increase alongside such an infamous crew. One day, Thatch, commander of the Whitebeard pirates, found a devil fruit. Teach recognized it as the Yami Yami no Mi. So Thatch just found the devil fruit, and Blackbeard's whole game plan with joining the Whitebeard pirates was to find this fruit because
No,
he was
no, no.
obsessed.
We know that, Sid. But look what you said. It just kind of doubles down on the idea that if he did know about the fruit from his father, which I mean, he wouldn't have
No,
needed to read the
I don't think
encyclopedia.
he has even like spoken with his father because Blackbeard, how old is he? Is he like 41? Black
38.
Yeah, so the God Valley happened
No, it's 40.
literally.
It's 40 after the time skip.
Exactly. So God Valley happened like 1 year after his
His
birth, like
birth.
2 years after his birth. He doesn't even remember his father.
So he
But I
knows it
think
from his mother, maybe.
what he does remember is the power his father wielded, right? Like he had the power of darkness, and and then he reads the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia, looks at the Yami Yami no Mi, and he's like, "Oh shit, that sounds like my father's abilities."
So this is my theory. This is my theory here. Yeah, I don't think that's how he knew about the fruit. I think this is a freaking crackpot theory, guys. You're gonna call me like
But
crazy.
how would he be
Yeah,
so
I think
obsessed?
I'm telling you. I think Rox didn't die. I tell you why. I think his
Okay.
fruit has to do with something with like separating his soul from his body. And the moment he died, yeah, he lived on, and yeah, his soul went into his son, and that's why, yeah, Blackbeard. You see
Beard has
multiple times
multiple souls.
he has multiple personalities, and there's not one, it's many of them, right? That's one idea. And the reason I come to this is this. Firstly, he realized that once his body died, he realized he wanted to get revenge, yeah, about what happened to him. And Blackbeard randomly attacked Shanks. Why would he do that? There was no reason for Shanks to get attacked unless there's some feud between the two, which goes beyond them two, which is the father feud. We know that
Garling
Garling
was
was
also
there.
against Xebec during God Valley.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Xebec and
Yeah.
Garling, they must have fought, and Xebec must have died not through Garp's hand or Rock's hand, because I don't think I don't think Roger would kill anyone, in my opinion. And I don't think Roger killed Xebec, and I don't think Garp did either. I genuinely believe it was Garling who did the killing blow. And when he did the killing blow, he wanted revenge. His soul left because he had a devil fruit similar to Brooks, not the same but similar, which lets him lived. Let him. He lived on because of that. He went to his son. His son, from then on, he realized he had to have an action plan. And his action plan was to get the fruit because he knew about it for a long time. And then he read more about it. And then once he got the yummy yummy no mi, he knew he needed to get certain amount of fruits. Yeah, which was the the quick fruit from Whitebeard. And then the story goes on from there. I generally believe that Rox lives on in Blackbeard. It's not just a homage to him. Can't be in my eyes. But yeah.
I definitely understand that
Should
too.
Rox look-
But currently,
Yeah.
the entirety of the community is that he had the yum yum, you know me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's not possible, but okay, let's continue reading the actual story. But this is sick because we got the whole translation here. All right. So chapter starts with little summary of Big Mom incident when
Wait.
she was a
Shout out
child.
to Toby Uchiha on TikTok for sharing the stream. Thank you so much. People on TikTok, please share the stream. Thank you. All right, let's
Hey
continue.
yo, shout out to people on TikTok. We just started that recently, and hopefully we'll be more consistent. All right. So chapter starts with little summary of Big Mom's incident when she was a child. Then we see many disasters befall Elbaf. A massive snowstorm prevented crops from being harvested, and giants were also unable to fish or hunt, which brought famine to Elbaf. You think the prophecy about Loki coming into existence is actually true? Because they feared that him coming and being born, his his snake eyes and whatnot would lead to disasters. And what happened right after he was born? There was many disasters.
What if because of Loki's eyes, and the reason he has it bandaged up right now is because it sucks up hockey from like living things around him, like animals.
If that's happened, that's a sick power. I like that idea.
That's why he
really
has
do.
it bandaged up and nobody understands him. That's
And
why
that's why
he's
his
the
mom
one
probably died,
first
bro. Because
human.
when
Yeah.
she saw him,
Yo.
when she saw him, my hockey, oh, I didn't kill this kid. Get away from me.
Exactly.
That
And
shit.
remember, she's into that energy feng shui stuff, and she was like, "Hey, yo, Harold, your hockey is leaking. Maybe that's why you've been busting blanks for 20
That'd be
years."
funny as heck, man.
Right?
Hey, that would be so funny. Hey, okay, so Emmanuel Russell said a small theory I heard. The Beck kills Akanji's father. That's what Sid was saying. He was betrayed by Whitebeard and killed by Roger and Garp. His devil fruit was the yummy yummy no mi. Blackbeard is his son. He's inherited the fruit. Yeah, that's what Sid was.
Bro,
Exactly what Sid was saying.
I 100% understand him being betrayed by Whitebeard in God Valley.
Yeah.
It would parallel perfectly with Teach betraying Whitebeard and Whitebeard's entire thing, him
shit,
accepting who was one of his commanders, that one commander who like stabbed him during Marineford, right? I completely forgot his name.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he
Shiryu.
yeah, no, I don't think it was Shiryu,
No,
but
What are you talking about?
whoever that bum
Oh,
was who got rage baited by Akainu and
Oh,
then
that guy,
stabbed
that guy.
Whitebeard, right? Like Whitebeard's entire thing is about accepting his sons, and I think whatever Rock's plan was in God Valley, Whitebeard didn't agree with it because it could harm the rest of the crew, and then he betrayed him. That's a huge possibility.
I don't know. I don't want to see Whitebeard
Because
as
the
a person that's
level
gonna
of glaze,
against-
like how the hell do you introduce a legendary mythical character in the verse and, with just the subtext saying, "Oh yeah, he killed an admiral." And he went to Mauritius. He didn't just kill an admiral down in like normal island like area. He went to Mauritius where Emu and his Gorosei are, his God's Knights are, and he managed to not only kill an admiral but escape and started a crew.
he's
What
a
the
beast.
hell,
He's a
bruh?
beast. But
You
look
know
what
how
it says
OP
though. Look,
that is.
it said what it says is that he didn't have a bounty before that. If I'm reading this correctly,
No,
it
no, no.
means that
Yeah.
Just to be
That's not even
able to
icon.
defeat an admiral and escape unharmed with all these gods, knights, and emu being in the
he
vicinity
had that big
is
D
OP.
energy in it. He's a D, bro.
Yeah.
What do you expect? But what I'm trying to say, this guy wasn't. I mean, unless I'm reading it wrong, is trying to portray Xebec as a person that he wasn't a wanted
I
man.
think he
He wasn't.
aligned with Harold. That's why when Xebec came to Elbaf, he was looking for Harold because I think
Yeah,
Xebec and Harold had a similar mindset. And the answer to Xebec going against the world government, their oppression, because his island was also getting affected now. They wanted the heavenly tribute, all this bullshit. And Xebec's idea was that if I become king of the world, like they won't
I
be
can
able to
change
do
the
that.
system.
It's similar to how Luffy thinks that to be the freest man alive, to be the pirate king, he needs to be the strongest, right?
Yeah. No,
And I
I
think
get that.
Zebek had a similar
I
mindset.
think there's three ways to look at it. Firstly, the God's Valley incident. I don't think that's just him saying, "Oh, I'm gonna take over destroy the Celestial, destroy the game, take." I think there's more to it. There's specifically because Garp and Sengoku were pissed off that the Celestial stole something from Full Lead. They stole something from Rox, and Rox went back to get it.
But he wanted
Right?
to become the king of the world, though. We know he wanted to become the
So we
king
know
of the
that,
world even
but
before
that's
that.
what it is. I know that's just like Luffy. Like Luffy wants to be the king of the pirates, but
You
certain
don't think he wanted
actions
to sit
doesn't.
on the throne?
No, I do think he does. It did, yeah. He wanted to usurp the current regime, 100%. But what I'm trying to say is that I think that incident with God Valley, it wasn't a strategic move where he went there to do final pillage. They're going to get back at the Celestials. I think, generally speaking, he went there deeply. I mean, his crews probably went there for their own agenda, but he went there because something happened. Something was taken from him, and he wanted it back. And that's not me saying it. That's actually the chapter. If you go back to it, something was taken from him, and he went back to get it. Now we were speculating that, oh, it could be the devil fruits. I don't think it's the devil fruits.
I think
Yeah.
Firstly, yeah, I think there was a misdirection there.
I
We
think
were
maybe it's
led.
one of his daughters. Maybe it was
I think it was his wife
his
or his sister.
sister, wife.
I
Yeah.
think it could be someone close to him. And the reason why I thought about it, right? That if you think about it, how the heck, yeah, did he know whether I know Ginny let out a beacon, so people knew, they were there. But I feel like, how did he know specifically there was a raid going on Fuller Lead, or how to get there? Maybe there was a
You mean in God
Ginny's
Valley?
broadcast,
yeah,
right?
God Valley, sorry.
God Valley.
Yeah.
It's just Ginny's
Yeah,
broadcast.
it was Ginny. It was Ginny's broadcast. Yeah, that's more likely the case.
No, but it
But
was
it could be the
confirmed like
very.
it is Ginny's broadcast only, and then I think that's when Rox found out like all the Celestial Dragons are there, means the God Knights are there, means I
Because
can get my wife.
you know what that
Yeah.
means. Instead of going to Marie Joie, he knew, he understood that, oh, it's around this time of the year. They're probably at their culling games. This suggests that Rox has big knowledge about the Celestials and their whole world in Marie
And I
Joie.
think he wanted to tell Harold, but Harold wasn't there. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Emmanuel said a small theory I heard. Okay, I read that one. So he said
Do
that
you,
the
do
will
you
of the
think
father.
he
Will of the
came to
Father.
warn Harold about Emu's plan and like they're never gonna see you as human? Like, just give up, bro.
I think so. Yeah, I think he wanted to recruit Harold maybe to his cause.
But
Because
okay,
remember at that time
like
he was
yeah,
trying to. Yeah,
Rox is a nice guy and all. Why did he stab Loki? That
I
that
know
is
that
No,
makes
odd.
that
sense.
was
We
that
explained
makes
it last
sense.
time. It makes a lot of sense why he did it. He didn't see Loki as a child. He saw Loki as a
He
man, even at
respected
that
him.
age. Yeah. And he wanted Loki to be respected. He thought he's gonna fight me. I'm gonna fight him as an equal. So it's a respect thing. So but yeah. Anyway, so let me read the next comment from you guys. Emmanuel said, "The will of his father, without or knowing it, he kills Roger's son. Betrays, stole, killed Blackbeards. Basically a cycle. Oda cooked. Yeah. No, I do. I think there's some.
Yeah, the
There's some
whole
truth to
thing is
that.
a cycle,
Yeah.
and that's why it makes a lot of sense that Shanks
Yeah.
and Blackbeard were ops against each other.
Okay, so Zayaf said, question to Yusuf, who's the third person inside BB, assuming Teach and Rox are inside of him. So I do believe Rox is inside of Teach, right? But I think there's the Zoan fruit. It sounds kind of crazy, right? But the Zoan, the primary fruit that they have, yeah, which allows Teach to basically do what he does. I think it's a Zoan. It's a Zoan spirit. And we know spirits of zones are alive, and we have this whole premise that
Remember,
Emu,
we have the
Julius.
Bai
Yeah, exactly. I think
spirit.
it's the Baizi. That's the spirit. And we know that we also know Luffy has Nika inside of him. He laughs at Nika when he's possessed. He smiles. He gets giddy, and he feels like a kind of like a pull towards liberating people. Imu D Judas. There's a devil, like literal devil inside of this Perona, Imu Perona. So Nerona, not Perona.
I don't
But yeah,
know.
anyways. Okay, so next question, Junie King, I like it. He says, "Oh Naruto, okay, oh Naruto will come to One Piece because okay, bro, come on, man, Naruto, bro, we don't
He's
talk about
already
that
in
shit."
One
No,
Piece. He's
Zoro
he's
might go
young
there.
Ace. I mean, sorry, young Sabo.
bro, imagine
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Sabo is kind of like a Naruto vibe.
No,
Yeah,
his
it is
voice
the voice
actor is
actor.
literally
The voice
Naruto.
actor is
Like young
Naruto.
Sabo's voice actor.
Oh yeah,
And
shit.
they were
Yeah.
going to like I think Oda was going to make Sanji's name Naruto.
Naruto. Yeah.
That'd be good. That'd be a sick freaking homage. But I'm happy they didn't do that.
Alright,
Let's
let's
continue.
continue on the
All
chapter.
right. So Baby Loki managed to return to the castle, but Queen Astra didn't want to see him. Baby Loki tried to hug his mother. He broke the door. Oh, and this is after he climbed all the way from the freaking underground, man. This is so freaking sad. He broke the door to enter Astrid's room, but Astrid, full of hatred, rejected him. Baby Loki cried desperately as the soldiers took him out of the room. Astrid said, "It was all his fault. It's because we didn't kill him immediately that this nation is now cursed. Get him out.
Can hockey
Never
from
let that
everything.
monster near me again. And destroy his eyes, or else everything will be cursed. The end of this nation is closing on us." Giant soldiers, they basically come in and say, "Prince Loki, you mustn't go near your mother's room." And he's like saying, I feel so bad, man. This is like such a tragic story. Imagine your own mother
Old bro, what do
rejecting
you
you.
mean? You can't go near her.
Due to disasters, Elbaf was on the brink of
I'm
destruction.
surprised Loki didn't attack the guards, like Esther's guards at the time. Like he literally killed the underworld beast. It's like
Yeah.
let the guards take him
Oh,
away.
do you know how I see it? Look at the image. So guys, if you can't see the image, yeah, he's trying to go in. He's happy. He puts she gets the guards to take him out. He's crying. He's in despair. He's seeing his mother, and he's so broken. He can't do anything. All he can do is like get pulled away. He's not enraged out right now. When he was like thrown to the
He's just
underworld,
sad.
yeah,
He doesn't feel like malicious intent, like murderous intent. His life isn't being threatened by the guards, right? So
he's a
I don't
good
think he's
boy.
acting up. Yeah,
Good boy. Loki's a good child. He got good nature. Freaking
exactly.
people, man.
That's why
Piss
Luffy's
me
like
off.
joined my crew because he understood. He has that emotional EQ.
Bloody hell, man. I hate this woman, Astrid, man. I'm glad she's dead. Sorry, I got pissed off. Anyways, let's continue.
I could have fixed her, but you know.
Alright, calm down. Oh my god, man.
He's
He
start
goes off
calling
to
me
the
the
bad.
Mountain Eater 2.0.
Remember, we are
I
still on
know, man.
TikTok.
Alright, so due to disaster, Elbaf was on the brink of destruction. Giants tried to attack Hydrodin because he was related to cursed Prince Loki. But Harold returned to Elbaf just in time to help Hydrodin and Ida. Harold said, "My brothers, do not hurt each other." The same time I received news that Loki is born, I also heard of the famine that was raging through this nation. I immediately discussed that issue with the countries whom we have a diplomatic relationship with. And with just that, they filled their ships with food. No
Wow.
question asked. The humans are also so small compared to us. But several countries work together and are delivering food that is enough to fill even the bellies of us giants. Let's accept their
You
help.
know what this is showing,
This is
yeah?
nice, man.
This is showing that these nations, this action by these nations for the King of Elbaf just shows that they don't need heavenly tributes. They don't need celestial dragons. They don't need the world government. Like they're helping each other. They're forming alliances on their own without being brokered by the government. Look at all this that's happening. Oh, another
This
thing
is
you have
a
to remember is that we found out last chapter that it was the giants who gave all of these islands they were having relations with like better navigation technology, because until like 100 years ago, before Harold and the giants gave the world their technology of navigation, the islands were even more segregated. So the more segregated a island is, the more the government can come in and say, we can make broker all these relations, like you need us because you can't even like leave your island because you don't even know how to navigate.
it's like a new age here where human beings,
Yeah.
it's not a new age, it's like reverting back to the old age where people are bartering for what they're good at and they're coming together as a community, working together to progress. Whereas in this day and age, and in our, it's like a parallel to our world, right? Because we all know, the celestial dragons and the ones in the One Piece world is a representation to our literal world and the people who are running it, right? Like, you know who I'm
And
talking
we got
about, right?
celestial dragons in our
Yeah,
own world.
we
All right,
got
let's
celestial
continue.
dragons
We
in our own world,
can...
yeah. We got we got the Zyles, we got all of these people, yeah. That's committing the worst, heinous crimes in the world, right? And they're separating people. They're separating people through ideology, saying they're not like you. They're different. Yeah, they're your
Just
enemies.
posts
They're
on
gonna take
social
over
media,
you.
like every single post I go
Yeah,
on Twitter, it's like, oh, women this, like Indians this, like
I'm telling
all
you,
this
'cause
shit. Like
it's
it's so
divide and conquer.
dividing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's divide and conquer to a level where now they can't just do it through, like, back in the days they can easily just go to colonialism was so easy. Just go there, conquer the land, and now this is my land, and we separate people. Look what happened with India and Africa.
exactly.
All of
It's
these countries got
evolving in the One
colonized.
Piece world right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, but now there's many layers to it because Emu was doing it in a way where the Zyos in this generation are doing it. Where, for instance, they're doing it through Hasbara, like propaganda, constant talking points where make a they and them. These guys are the enemies. These guys can't get along with you, and they're not part of our nation. They're not like
Exactly.
us. So stay away
While
from
like
them.
all of our money, everything is being stolen
Yeah,
by the
exactly,
celestial dragons. Like we're paying
exactly,
heavenly tribute without even
exactly.
realizing it.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. And heaven, like we give the celestial dragons 4 billion, like billions of dollars a month. Bro, it's going to them, and they're taking it for what? And that's what's happening. They're realizing, Harold's realizing. Wait a minute, I don't need to be part of the freaking government right now. I can work like these human beings, these other human nations. We just by sharing knowledge and just working together, we can get out of a situation, a bad situation like a famine. And this is exactly what this is the solution, and this is the solution in our world too, man. Stop relying on the government, man. Just rely on your other nations and human beings, and. Anyways,
Stop
Harold's a big
relying on the
brain there.
celestial dragons.
Yeah, man. Stop relying on these
Yeah,
guys, man.
they're not doing
Anyways,
shit.
trust. Okay, so basically the humans are so small compared to us, but several countries work together and are delivering food that is enough to fill even the bellies of us giants. Let's accept their help and eat the food with gratitude. And one day, when they need our help, let's give it to them. It's a small world that we all share. This is so powerful, man. I love this freaking this little speech. But this is what a picture. This represents the new age, the new neo government that's gonna come and when what's the
Yeah,
name again?
headed by
Kobe.
Kobe, headed
Yeah,
by Garp's ideology, headed by
trust me.
Smoker. Yeah,
People call it like communism, socialism, and give it all sorts of names, yeah, to demonize this point. Maybe to the extreme. It is kind of stupid, let's be real, yeah. To the extreme. But the fundamental idea amongst just giving people that's in need, that concept is just gone in the bin. Anyways, in an amazing double spread, we see tons of human ships arriving to Elbaf. All of them transported massive bags of food to help the giants. Astrid died right before Harold came back to Elbaf. Thanks God. He's like, thanks, riddance, man. I don't need to see that B when I come back. No, we see Harold crying at the
Siraj
funeral.
needs to moderate us, bro.
I
Oh yeah, I
swear.
forgot we had TikTok too, man. Ida decided to move to the underworld and build a bar where we see Koyon and Shanks in the present. Okay. Harold was
That is
busy with
Ida's
the
bar.
developing.
Is
So this
Ida
is
still
like
alive?
yeah. Either no, we don't know in the present if she's alive. I don't think she is.
Because that's
Harold
her
was
bar, right?
busy. I think it was, but it's taken over by how do you say it? Koyon's mom, isn't it? Ripley.
Oh yeah.
Or Ripley just works there.
She's probably like the way.
Yeah. Hugo XX said, "What if Rox had the upper in me and then transferred his heart to Blackbeard as a child? Maybe his personality and ambition." That's actually not a bad theory, you
Oh
know. I
shit!
can't. That's not a bad theory, you know. But how is he gonna do that? Because remember, he was in God's Valley,
What if he
and I
had
doubt his
someone to
son
do
was
it?
there. Oh, you mean he left his heart there from the beginning? Because they can do that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can survive
Yeah,
with your heart outside of your body.
that's mad. That's a
That's
mad theory,
actually
you know.
that's actually
Yeah,
not
it's a
bad.
mad one.
I don't think
All
Rox
right.
would do that though, because he
No,
seems
even
like
I don't
a good
think.
guy. Like that's kind of abusing your child, like changing your child like that.
Yeah, like he's
Leonard
not
said,
stabbed a
Leonard said,
little kid before.
Rox happened up and up into me would explain how he was alive in Blackbeard. I think it's more like a soul thing, but it could be that because what's his name again? Marco did say his body is different. Remember he said that. I didn't say he's different. His body is
Oh,
like
that's a
is
good
wired
point.
differently. So I like
Yeah.
this theory. That's a
Bro, this
good.
chapter review
Actually,
might be
it's not
40
Yeah.
him.
minutes
It's a
long.
them. It's not him.
You
It's
guys
a
are cooking.
them.
Chat's cooking, man. Chat, get in there,
No,
man. You
but
guys cook
it's
some good
them
shit.
comment. It's them comment still makes sense with like a fruit like the Bai Z fruit or like the I don't think it's the
And this
Kraken
is
fruit.
before woke culture, sir. Remember that.
It doesn't necessarily, yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to be the Ope Ope no Mi. It could be any fruit. But the theory which I'm always gonna stick to is that Rock's spirit and like ambitions it
Yeah.
got melded into his son. And yeah. Anyways, let's continue reading. Yeah, Harold was okay. So this is we read this bit. Sometime, sorry. So Loki grew up with Astrid's younger brother. No name for this character, and who also abused him. What? Hey, this guy, man. It's like, have you ever read the book called The Boy Called It? The Boy
Yeah.
Called It. God, man, that's
I'm
such a
not
sad
read it.
book.
I'm
Bro,
saying that if Loki is getting bullied by everyone, maybe there's something wrong. No, I'm joking.
nah, you're taking a piss. You're taking a
Maybe
piss.
Loki is the problem.
Maybe
Can we
maybe
just
he's the
talk
problem,
about
man.
can we just talk about deadbeat fathers in One Piece? Like Harold was there. Harold was there, bro. But he said, nah, I'm a country more than my kid. Look at this shit.
Yeah, what is this guy? No, because you
The
know what it is?
deadbeat
It goes.
agenda. The bigger the deadbeat you are, the stronger you are in One Piece. By that logic, Dragon is the
Actually, yeah.
strongest in the verse.
You know what it is, yes? It goes back to like Boruto. Naruto's always busy. He's the Hokage. He's busy running the country, right? Boruto's like feeling like the need of attention. He doesn't have any like. His father is always busy. I guess he's not to the extreme as Loki, where he's getting abused. But I think it's typical in every tradition, especially Japanese and Asian cultures, where the father is just zoned into work, banging it out, not really part of the child's life, and that's why mother figures are so huge and important in the upbringing of a child.
And
However,
that's why
I
that
remember an
draws
interview,
mothers
yeah,
so well.
yeah, and that's why I saw an interview with Oda. He said the reason why I don't want to bring out Luffy's mother, his actual biological mother, is because I don't want him to be grounded because mothers have such an effect. I want them to be free to that point. So Luffy doesn't really have a strong mother. Ace's mother passed away as a kid. Zoro doesn't have a mother, didn't have any mother growing up. Sanji was kicked out of his house and his mother died at a young age. Nami is an orphan. Her mother got shot by Arlong, so on and so forth. It's like a constant storytelling where mother figures are not present in the child's life. Now we know there's what's that? Don Don? No, Don Don
Yeah,
looked
done,
after
yeah.
Luffy, and she's like the mother figure per se, right? But she's not really the mother. She's like more of a caretaker, right? So, but if a person has a pure motherly figure, it changes them and molds them to be grounded and be more or less crazy, I would say. And unfortunately, these characters need no mothers to make them what they are. They need the lack of mother figures to make them the legends they are. Because through tough times,
Now, if you
yeah,
go back, and see, like Luke childhood stuff, like that, not that nice. Like, and then later on, okay, after yeah, she got attached and stuff. Okay, things changed. But in the beginning, maybe maybe there's something wrong here also.
There's a
that's why.
difference between no. There's a difference between what Loki went through. Then like Dandan still cared for Luffy, like
Yeah,
right.
Oh
Like
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
difference. There's a care. There's tough love, and then there's like an absence of love and care. And a child needs
100%.
like a
He
child
was
needs to be
abused.
shown that there's some attention being put on them, and it seems like there's nothing happening here.
Loki was just abused straight up. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
straight up.
again back to my point, Loki could be the problem. But yeah,
I like what Jack
continue.
Sensei just brought up. So Jack Sensei said, Deadbeat Dragon said, a parent's biggest weakness is their children. He
Yeah.
literally said in the last chapter. Yeah, and it is facts in the end of the
He
day.
said that in the
And
last
yeah,
episode. You know, in the anime.
yeah, yeah, that's crazy. No, but that's I'm a father, guys. So I got 2 kids, and I'm telling you, 100%. That's reality. Your kids will make you break you. Look at what happened with Garp. His Ace was pretty much his son, innit? It's like he raised Ace. He believed he took care of Ace as his own son. Obviously, dashed him to Dadan, and didn't really raise him. But you know what I'm saying? He was so
Yeah.
broken. It's so sad, man. But let's continue. Let's continue. So
Same thing with Garp. Like he knew the mistake he made during Marineford by not saving Ace, right? But then now
Have you
he
seen
went
Kobe.
to
that?
save Kobe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen that
He's-
reel and the TikTok of like Garp walking down the? Like he's about to beat Akainu, and then Sengoku. back and it's like, no, we don't have the budget for that yet.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hey,
Oh,
shout
it's
shout
so
out
good.
to Jenny12 on TikTok for 2 roses. Thank you so much.
Oh, I like that. All right, let's continue. So basically, my guy Loki was getting bullied by everybody, abused. It's not even bullying; it's pure abuse. Actually, Sanji, he went through something similar, but this is worse, hands down. Harold was busy with developing roads and basically becoming a leader rather than a father. So the abuse was going unnoticed. To prevent more problems, the giant soldiers covered Loki's eyes, claiming he had an eye disease. What? So he didn't do it himself. They were like, your eye's ugly, bro. You gotta cover that quick." Anyways, cut to 56 years ago
Look what
at
they say
Yaro's
though,
house.
to prevent more problems.
I think they believed that his eyes was a curse. Like it was causing all these
Yeah.
curse. But really and truly, they looked at it and said, maybe if you cover his eyes, people maybe not bully him anymore. It's one of those ones.
No,
Anyways, cut to
I'm
56
with
years
my
ago.
theory. What do you mean they're not gonna bully him? Look at his big ass horns. Like, look at it. Look at his size. They'll know exactly who he is instantly.
I like that. I think that the show's power, man. But I think Elbaf has gone through so much. I think it was the mom. The mom gave this
I
this
really
conspiracy
think
theory.
the eyes are sucking in hockey from around the vicinity if they're not covered. I really think that.
I think he's a reincarnation of a beast from the back in the days. A
Chapter.
full,
Yeah, I'll make a proper argument, chat.
yeah.
I think we
Shout.
should wait for a little more information.
Yeah.
All right, so we cut back to 56 years ago from Yaro's house. Harold and Yarl are talking about conflicts between giants and the world government. Harold, you were at the reverie and that incident occurred. Harold's like, yeah, I asked a king who's my friend to help me sneak in a soldier. In the end, my request fell on deaf ears. If that murder didn't occur, I may have been arrested. Wait, what? So Harold said, I asked the king. Yeah, so we don't know which king, who's his friend. So I think that's maybe the Sea King, because they remember they got along in it. The Sea King at that time, the fishman.
No, but they weren't allowed in the reverie. Remember, the only
Yeah.
Otahime got an audience,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they weren't allowed in the reverie.
Oh,
'Cause they're
wait, how many
fishmen.
years ago
They're
was this?
racist.
56 years ago.
56
I
years
think
ago.
they were 56
No,
years
they
ago.
weren't. 200 years ago, when the robot climbed the red line.
Oh yeah, you're right. Wait, what? Let
Yeah.
me Google when the robot climbed the red line. Was
100
it 200 years ago?
Yeah.
But this is 56 years ago. So which king could that be? So we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that in a bit.
It
So
could be like, but remember that
It could
he's
be
friends
Rox
with a
himself.
lot of nations.
Yeah,
Rox
true.
himself, trust.
So yeah, and
This
then
is the
climbed the red
It
line
might be
200
Rox
years ago.
actually. Yeah, maybe Rox.
And he was the king of
man.
Fullerled, and Fullerled became a pirate island after Rox got kicked out of the world.
Oh, and that's why. Oh my God, that's why Blackbeard wants to make Fullerled a country again. That's his whole
Exactly.
thing. That's why he kidnapped Kobe. Oh my
Let's
God.
go.
But wait. Look at this here. So he says, I asked the king who's my friend to help me sneak in as a soldier. In the end, my request fell on deaf ears. So he didn't sneak in.
No, he
Right?
didn't. No, or
Yeah.
maybe his request.
Wait,
Speak to
I'm
the
confused.
people first.
Oh, yeah. He didn't end up going because he said if
Hmm.
that murder didn't occur, I may have been arrested. Wait, what does that mean? I'm confused on this sentence.
No,
way I
I think the
understand
world
it-
government. What I understood is the world government didn't like the Giants beginning only, and he was not allowed in. So I think if the murder didn't happen, he would have been arrested. The murder happened, so he also could escape along with Rox. What I feel, and Rox is the
Okay,
king.
so
that
the way I
escaped.
understand it is that in the end, my request fell on deaf ears.
So he
I
sneaked
think
in on
it's
his own.
oh no, I think this is what happened. He did sneak in, or he was basically in, and then he shouted his request to become part of the reverie, a giant to join the government, and that's what got denied. That's what I
Yeah.
understand from it. Yeah, and then he said they got so mad at him for even
That they were
becoming
gonna
sneaking
arrest
in and bringing it up and making a scene. Yeah, if that murder didn't occur, he would have been arrested. But that murder
Yeah.
took all the limelight away
Yeah.
from his proposition.
All right, you
That's how
clocked
I
it.
understand it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Yarl, just being arrested would have been nothing. How ruthless. Have you heard the story of the Galila or Galila? Yeah, the Great Hammer Warriors. Harold's like, I think it was some group of tough or giants shipwrights, some warriors with hammers, some myth, right? Yarl's like, no, they were real. They sailed far beyond Elbaf and sent home a letter from where they went. Telling you, man, they probably went to build like Pluto. The content of the letter was
We know where
along
they
the
went.
line. Yeah, we have all been captured. Can you believe it? Over 100 warriors, ancient giant included, all captured by somebody or someone. Harold wondered if they were captured by the world government. Jarl replied that all they could say for sure is that the great enemy existed in the past, but that part of their history was sunk deep in the oceans on a fateful day. Jarl finished saying he heard a rumor that the Galila members are frozen somewhere. Oh shit. Emu done it, bro. Remember there's a frozen freaking hat, giant hat in
No,
the
but
freaking
we,
cellar.
they're frozen in Punk Hazard. We saw
There
them
are
in Punk
giants
Yeah,
in
Hazard.
yeah. I saw,
Pankaj.
yeah, I saw that. But who can freeze this much? Is it Ice Age? Where the power
Probably
for
a different user of Ice
it,
Age.
yeah, it could be Ice Age. And if the Ice Age power was working with Emu a long time ago, and that's why the hat is frozen as well. It
Could
could
be.
be cycling through that
So,
power.
do you think Aokiji's point in the final war would be to unfreeze guys? Then they would join.
Maybe they could still be alive. Just warm them up.
Mm.
Give them some
Yeah,
hot
because
cocoa.
we know like
Hot
people
cocoa, yeah.
don't die when they're frozen. Like
Yeah,
happened to
all
Robin,
Yeah,
the
she
big
didn't die.
people.
the crypto with it. It's called cryptogenesis. I mean,
Yeah,
cryogenesis.
cryogenesis.
Saul
Yeah,
also,
Yeah.
Saul was, I think, the most for a good amount of time he was,
yeah,
and
he
to a
was.
point we all thought he was dead for a long.
So Tomahawk Renegade said, "Lol, Emu can kill the Sea King, so why does Emu fear them?" Yeah. Now, do you know what it is? Sometimes Emu will stop someone in their tracks because it's easier to control the masses when information is stopped at the root. But if information keeps spreading, so let's say these giants have knowledge about something, or Ohara, the country of Ohara has knowledge. These people are weak. They don't really pose a threat to Emu. But with great knowledge, yeah, eventually a lot of people will come to know the truth and they'll rebel. So the rebellion of the masses is the problem. So the shipwrights might not be
Kills every
directly
single
a
person. He's not a
yeah,
ruler anymore. What is he
yeah,
ruling over?
Great knowledge comes great power, and then with that comes.
responsibility. So Harold's like, I think there was some group shipwreck, blah, blah, blah. No, they were real. They sailed far beyond Elbaf, some letter, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the content of the letter was along the lines, we have all been captured. Can you believe it? Over 100 warriors, ancient giant included, all captured by someone. Harold wondered if they were captured by the world government. Jarl replied that all they can say for sure was a part of the history and they sunk deep in the ocean on that fateful day. Jarl finished saying he heard a rumor that the Galila members are frozen somewhere. When we know they're frozen in Pankazad because look at that image that the Reddit posted as well, and we saw in Pankazad. Yeah, that looks crazy, man. Anyways, Harold. Okay, so when Yarl talks about the Galila, we can see it in the background, some of the
Look what
silhouettes,
Adam has
and at
in
least two
chat
of them.
said. Look what Adam has in chat said. What if the admiral that Rox killed was using a Kainu's fruit,
The one
and
that
that's how
died.
he yeah,
He
and
said
he's the one
Aokiji.
who
Said Aokiji, but
yeah.
I think it's a.
No,
But
I
why
think it
would
was
that matter
he had,
though?
he had
But
Aokiji's fruit.
I
by the way,
wouldn't.
these giants were frozen 100 years ago, right? From the time they're talking, or when were they
No,
frozen?
no. They just got the letter. No.
Let me see. They said that it said there was a myth. He said how was a group of
Yeah, they
giant
were
some
a
warriors.
myth. Like they left Elbaf like over 100 years ago, and he wasn't born. Harold wasn't born over 100 years ago.
So is it fact? Where did it say 100 years though? He just said no, they were
No,
real.
this,
They
no,
sailed
no,
far
no.
beyond Albaf and sent him a
This
letter
happened a
where they went.
few. This happened long back. He said he heard a rumor that this has happened, and they sent home a letter saying that they've been.
Yeah, they just
This is a
sent the
rumor.
letter.
This entire thing that he's talking about is a rumor.
Okay, I see. So they okay. So they left the village a long time
So,
ago,
and
long
remember,
time
Yarul
ago.
is old.
And
Remember, Yarul is old, right? So when he
The
was
oldest
young,
giant
he
is like
could have heard
400 years
the
old.
rumor.
yeah.
Yeah, when he was young, he could have heard.
Okay, so
Oh,
they were
okay.
alive. They were big shot giants. They left long time ago, but they finally got a letter coming from them that they say they got captured. And at this
Do you
point, they got
think?
captured, and
This is during the White Century. During the White Century, entire scene. See what it says.
the Void Century. Look what it says. It says Harold said, "I think it was some group
No,
of tough
Harold
giants."
wondered. Harold wondered if they were captured by the Volga. Said that,
Yeah,
no?
so this is not the Void Century. It has to happen.
No,
Zero
Yarul
replied that
replied
they
that they
all
were
can
all.
say the great enemy existed in the past. but that part of the history was
sunk
sunk.
into the ocean. Yeah.
Okay, so did this happen in the past, but we don't know when exactly.
I was thinking this all happened during the Void Century. The giants were like captured.
But the fact that they were frozen, right? It means that they were captured first, subdued, then frozen, or maybe half
Yeah.
frozen, alive, and then
Before
somehow they
eating
managed to
the
send a
rest.
letter. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Look, can you guys can the chat and everyone on stream see this image about the Punk Hazard image?
Yeah, join the
Yeah,
Discord server.
Yeah, they can.
they're literally in Punk Hazard right now, frozen. Anyways, look, it says in the background we can see silhouettes. At least two of them are the two of the frozen giants that Nami and Chopper saw in Punk Hazard. So this is factual. Up to 48 years
look
ago.
look at the clothing they're wearing. They're like impel down prisoner clothing, right? So
Yeah, they pulled down.
something that's very possible is that these giants. The reason they're in Punk Hazard was because in Punk Hazard they were doing giant lineage research, right?
Experiments. Yeah.
So they're being used for experiments, and then I think Aokiji was the one who just like froze them during like their battle.
You reckon?
Because Punk Hazard completely cold, right? So it's possible.
Yeah.
Aokiji uses power to freeze everything in that vicinity, and these giants were just living here at this moment.
How they getting subdued and didn't escape in that meantime? Who's there to stop them? Like, Caesar the Clown
Oh yeah,
can't
and
stop them.
they're shipbuilders too. Yeah, they just build
Yeah,
a
like
ship.
yeah, the shit they can build ships and shit, and you tell me like a bunch of giants can't escape. They don't need freaking like even if it's sea stone cuffs, I'm pretty sure these giants can rip it apart.
Yeah,
What if the Yeti brothers could be like
Could be. I think they are the complete different branch. Jack Sensor said, I don't know. I feel like he was the king of Pirate Island, and the Celestials do what they do best and just took over, probably killed someone he loved. Oh, you're talking about? Okay. I don't know. I think these guys there was some powerful being that actually froze them back in the days after doing
yeah.
experiments.
It could be
Maybe
the same person that froze Emu's hat and everything.
yeah,
that
that's what I was leaning towards.
Yeah,
But anyways, it cut to 48 years ago. So how many years ago was that from this moment? So that's like
8
6
years
to
after that.
8 years. Yeah, 8
Yeah.
years later, basically. After the beast incident on the village, Kid Loki jumped from the sun world to the underworld by himself. Loki crashed heavily to the ground. Then he took out his blindfold and cried alone, saying, I can't even die.
Oh, that's
This
like
is so
Kaya moment.
sad.
That's crazy.
I feel so sad for this guy, man. Bloody hell. He's so depressed. So 8 years later, his life gone much worse. It's not,
Can I?
it was bad.
Here's my headcanon. Yeah, I think the reason Loki let the beasts into the villages was to show everyone, look at all the friends I made, and then like they all got scared of the beasts, right? And then they started running amok.
Yeah, I think he's just a kind guy, kind boy. I don't think he literally set them
He just wanted
on
to
the
show
village.
people his new friends, bro. What the?
Yeah.
And then people got hurt, probably. Damn.
This is so sad, man. I want to see that panel where he just jumps off the cliff and
Oh,
cries.
look! He jumped from Sunworld. Look who he found.
Wait, I'm trying to find that panel when he jumps from the sun world. So, okay, yeah, there he is. Oh, this is so depressing. And he's crying, and oh my god, I can't hack this, man. When it's animated, I'm gonna be crying like a
Dude, the Kuma
fountain of water.
flashback was already sad as hell. And then now we
Yeah.
have Loki flashback. What is this manga?
Oh my god, Oda knows how to cook a freaking sad story. Every freaking character, like freaking Senor Pink's story made me cry. Everyone's
I
story
swear
there
it
is
is.
so freaking sad. Anyways, that was depressing as heck. He jumps to try to kill himself. Even as a kid, he can't do that, and he survives. And then guess who he meets? He meets. Well, that's why I understand why he likes freaking
Like
Rox.
Kaido, he has some similarity to Kaido.
Yeah,
him.
he does. But Kaido did it because out of pride and ego. I don't think he.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suddenly, a mountain was cut in half in
What
the
Kaido
distance.
did, jumping from the Sky Island, that was for show, bro. He just wanted
Yeah.
to aura farm in
Yeah.
front of a kid.
Yeah. Bro, this guy is so sick. He's a swordsman, man. Look, who cut that freaking a mountain? Hey, look, you
Wait.
saw a mountain get cut in half.
I think that was
Oh, yeah, on the right.
Whitebeard.
Was it Whitebeard?
Yeah, keep reading.
Okay, so basically, he saw a mountain get sliced in half. And then you hear some noises. He said, mystery man comes in and said, what the hell is the deal with this island? Where is the entrance? A group of people approached Loki. Shiki, Edwin Newgate, Buckingham Stussy, and a mystery man. Mystery man said, ah, there we go. A giant brat. I told you we are in Elbaf. Shiki's like, yeah, this kid has the face of a devil. Newgate's like, isn't he huge even for a giant? And he's crying right now. In the epic in the epic devil page of the chapter, we discover the mystery man is Rox D. Xebec. Xebec's face was very similar to Teach's face, same eyes, nose, mouth, but Xebec still have has all his teeth. He has spiked hair, black and white locks, wore earrings, and had a scar or tattoo, not sure yet, on the left side of his face. He was a big guy like Teach, but thinner. And then the narrator says, okay, Harold encountered this man at Reverie 8 years ago, during which this man escaped after killing an admiral of the Marine headquarters, and is currently
Hunted by
basically hunted by the world government, who has placed a high bounty on his head. The Beck's like, all right, yes to both my question. Say yes to both my question, kid, because that is the answer I'm seeking right now. First, is this place the nation of the giants called Elbaf? Second, it's better that Harold be here. Also, Harold should be here at this point. But it's 8 years later. It's not the Reverie.
And like he
No, he
hadn't
was
started the
going to
Rocks
like a
Pirates
meeting and
yet.
stuff, right?
Yeah. So Roxley Zebek comes. So later becomes the captain of the Rocks Pirates, father of Blackbeard, one of the four emperors. Why did he drop it like that? What's wrong with you, Oda? My man just dropped his daddy. I can't lie. It does look like a
Bro, that's
freaking Blackbeard.
yeah,
Like
that's so much
crazy.
like Blackbeard done.
He just dropped it like. Oh my god, this chapter, guys. What the heck?
Dude, look at Stasi. Shiki is there, man. Holy.
This guy looks sick, man. I can't wait for this to be updated. Hey, what do you guys give the chapter? I want to chat. You have to let me know.
9 out of 10.
Is it 9? I think it's a solid 10.
Yeah.
Like, how can he do better? Like,
Well, when I read the panels, maybe it'll be 10 out of 10. I haven't looked at the panels.
I want to
yet.
read the panels as well, yeah.
Yeah. Yusuf, there's
Like,
one more
properly
thing we
just
gotta
go through.
discuss. Look at Rox's face, right? And look at the
Yeah.
two sides of his face, and then look at this picture I sent.
Buggy D clown.
Yeah.
Are you
One
gonna?
side.
Yeah.
You see this?
I see it. 100%. So that's I see the possibility of Buggy being his son as well. I don't think Rox is a man who's gonna just be with one woman. That makes no sense. He's a
Exactly.
he's a fully fledged pirate, man. He's been
And
spreading
if he was
seeds.
a king, if he was a king, it would make even more sense. He had multiple wives.
Yeah. So what
Look,
happened? So
Buggy
this guy,
is 39 years old.
He's the same age
Yeah.
as Shanks.
Yeah.
so basically he's 39 years old. He's not born yet, but he's gonna be born later.
And remember, like we technically get to see, like in Red, we technically only get to see Shanks out of one chest. Buggy, we still have no idea how he
Yeah,
How
we
is-
don't know
how
how
is
Buggy
Buggy?
joined the crew.
how
Let
he
me
joined
find out.
Roger.
He's 39
Hey,
years
Jody
old.
List said I read what was possible. Loki's story is heartbreaking. I rate it heartbreak out of 10. Nah, bro, I'm like the same. I get really attached to these characters sometimes, and it breaks my heart because it's real. Like a lot of people don't know this. This shit is real shit, fam. Obviously, giants aren't real. Well, giants aren't real right now, right? The giants aren't real, but the stories and dynamic it happens all the time, man. There's probably like a dustbin baby around here, like in America is quite common. People have kids and they just abandon them all the time. They're lonely. People get bullied at school non-stop. It's sad shit, man. And obviously, there's tragedies going in the world. There's literally, an ethnic cleansing, all these crazy shit that's happening right now as we speak. So I think Oda uses our real life problems, and he makes a good story using these realities. Yeah, and that's why the story is good. Because otherwise, if you just read like a straight up Demon Slayer 10 out of 10, yeah, but it's so fictional that you kind of love it because it's of the art. You love it because of the freaking, the love, the story, the bondship between the siblings. But it doesn't go far enough to realize how deep a problem can be on Earth. And One Piece does a great job in
Demon Slayer does have deep themes. I don't think that's what Yusuf is saying. But One Piece, like The way this final arc is being portrayed with the problem of the celestial dragons, it's so relevant to our current world right now that One Piece is peak, man. This chapter is
Trust,
his
man.
peak. The entire flashback is peak.
It's
How
timeless, man.
it shows how like countries, how different organizations, different groups of people, how they interact with each other, why certain problems are happening in the world currently. Like the same thing is happening in One Piece, and Oda is giving a solution too. We need a Luffy. Where's
Trust
Luffy?
me, because I feel like we can't speak out now. In this day and age, if you speak out, you're gonna be cancelled. You're gonna be shut down. You can be branded as a threat. Yeah. If you just say, "Oh, you shouldn't do like this. This is hurting someone," you're gonna be instantly
Exactly.
branded as a threat. This is the same thing as look. What did Emu try to do? Emu shut down speech, man. Emu shut down the truth. He tried to hide the truth, put out propaganda, and cause the world. Which there's levels. There's tier to people. There's people on the celestials on the top, and the rest of humanity on the bottom, and they think they are in control because they can be joining a democracy.
Calling
You
people
can come to the
insects
revelry.
for like just because their ancestors 800 years ago did some like apparently quote unquote saved the world. But now we come to find out that the world is actually drowning because of what Emu's doing. So aren't the
Because they
celestial
think
dragons by their own logic the baddies?
because the celestials think God promised them the red line 800 years ago, man.
Exactly,
I know,
chat.
nigga.
Exactly.
Bro, we need to stop. Get
We
cancelled.
won't
All
be
right.
silent.
But
Monkey
seriously,
Debbie
man.
Dragon is gonna come to Elbaf. He's gonna show up in Marijois and do a storm, mess up all of them. GG's.
I really
Mehdi,
hope,
innit?
for Sid's sake, I really hope Dragon actually comes.
He has to. He has to. A
He
broken
had to
clock is
come
right
to
at least
Elba,
twice a day, right?
to Egghead as well. Remember Egghead?
I think he went to Egghead. I don't think he went to Elbaf. I think
He
Dragon
did
is.
show up in Egghead. He did show up in Egghead. Remember
No, that's
Vegapunk's
what I'm saying. He
flashback.
either went to
Remember
Egghead or
Vega.
he went to the Red
Everyone
Line.
makes fun of me, okay, in comments. Like, did he come to Egghead? Yeah, he did come to Egghead 20 years ago.
Bro, you did it in a flashback. It still counts. No,
It
bro.
still counts.
I because we got a lot to talk about this chapter because we're gonna break it down and
This is
then
gonna be a
hopefully we can post it
40-minute
tomorrow.
video,
But
bro.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, and we know that Buggy, yeah, and Shanks and Buggy, Shanks, and Blackbeard. I do think they're siblings or they're related. They have this something that binds them together, which is like basically blood, right? But what's more important than that is as a pack opening. All right, guys, so pack opening time. This time, hopefully, I'll pull something. I don't want a Rayleigh. I need that Rayleigh. Although otherwise, I can get a Shanks or a Whitebeard. Let's see what I get. Yeah, just a quick little break so I can open this pack because I got quite a few packs which I haven't been opening yet. Oh man, I want to open this. I know. I'm not a pro pack opener. I'm like one of you Pokemon guys. Oh, yeah, there you go. All right, let's see. Let's see
Yo,
what I
can
get.
we get packs like business expense so I can open it?
All right, that's a good idea. You can open the UK and the British ones. Sorry, the
Western
English
ones.
ones.
All right, buy me
Yeah.
a pack then. Amazon. I'll bill it to your invoice.
I did. Go on. I'm on that. We can open packs, man. Hopefully we can get something nice. All right, so I got Marco. That's a Marco. Yeah, I got Marco. All right, that's the first card I pulled, guys. What's the second card? What's this? Is that Kuma? Or is that just a pacifista? The pacifista. I like. The designs are kind of peak. All right. What's the next one here? Oh, okay, we got a freaking mink.
Wait, which Marco card do you have? One of these cards it says it's $24.
Got the
Did you get?
Marco. I just got a normal Marco card. It's not a shiny. I don't think this is $24. It could be. I don't know how these cards are being valued now. Hey, I forgot Big Mom's crew, man. I forgot his name though. Remember this guy? Is a not Peckham's, but he's part of Big Mom's.
The chicken
Okay.
dude. The
Yeah,
Tamago
chicken
guy.
dude. Hey, we got Tosh. My guy died though. Look at Blackbeard. Blackbeard's there too. This is the moment where Blackbeard's life and future, is predestined to become the Yonko. This is his moment. And this is my shiny. Oh, what the frick? Okay. For a second, I thought I got Dragon. Nah, bro. If you guys forgot who this guy is, man, he got so beaten up, man. This guy PR, he got non-stop, got smacked up. But still, he's the Shandorian. Was it Whisper his name? I forgot his name.
Viper.
Viper. That's a nice shiny, though. I got loads more packs, guys. Super Theory. Rox D Xebec is a Somali uncle. I swear. He does look. I swear he looks like one, man. He looks like I was like I can't lie. Imagine he is. He's from Africa.
Wait, but Blackbeard is Somali. Like the Oda said,
Is
he's
it?
Somali.
Is it?
Yeah,
My
isn't
man got the hair for it. He got the hair for it. It's like an afro, isn't it?
It's like dreads,
I-
no?
Yeah, but like to get dreads and that, like to make it that wavy, he's like, I can't lie, man. I really do like
Yeah,
his design.
look. If One Piece were set in the real world, then Teach would be from Somalia.
Is
yeah.
it
Volume
sick?
88
That makes
SB.
so sense. Yeah, so Rox is Somali, bro. That is lit. He's a true pirate. Hey, just for a shout, guys. If you guys are looking at his tattoo, his eyes, and it goes like with the tattoo eyes. Why do you think Buggy started doing that? Is it because was he always like that, or did he get inspired?
What
And the
thing?
scar is there as well. Look at the scar, like the eye scar. Look, half of his face is like rocks, and the other half of his face is like Buggy. And
Yep.
and his sister is gonna be Shanks' mommy.
Okay, I don't know about that.
And Blackbeard, Buggy, and Shanks are
You know,
all like cousins.
if Rox did have a kid, like 57, 58 years ago, it would the timeline would match up. That Shanks the lineage of Rox. But I don't think that's real.
But you know, because we know Blackbeard is born afterwards, right? From like right now, he's gonna meet
Yeah.
Harold. He's gonna
Blackbeard was
find his
born
Pookie in a
39
bit.
right before
Yeah,
God.
so maybe his
40 years
Pookie,
ago.
yeah, his Blackbeard's mom. We saw Blackbeard's mom in the SBS, right? She's alive. She's the
Yeah.
old lady, and she looks,
Yep.
yeah. Maybe that's someone part of the crew.
I don't think we saw any other people other than like Whitebeard and them, right?
No,
Like
we saw
Whitebeard,
Whitebeard. We saw
Stussy,
Stussy. We saw Miss Buckingham. Stussy.
yeah.
We saw Gloria. Was what's her name again?
Gloriosa.
Yeah, Gloria
Gloriosa.
was in
Oh,
it. You
did
know
we?
the one
Like
from
this chapter?
Yeah.
no, not this
Gloriosa.
chapter. Last
No?
Yeah, I'm
the
talking
last
about this
chapter.
chapter.
No, not this chapter. Bro, this chapter. Hey, I think. By the way, you're wrong. I don't think it was Newgate who sliced the mountains. It was Rocks.
Wait, if it's rocks, then you know what that means?
He's a
He's a
he's a
great swordsman.
swordsman, and then
He's a
Mihawk,
Mihawk
and then
victim.
yeah.
Bruh.
That
But
means
le-
Mihawk can kill
Mihawk
an admiral. That means Mihawk can kill an admiral.
Mihawk
Yeah.
wasn't even born during this time.
It doesn't matter. He's
but,
the greatest
but
swordsman.
listen.
Oda
The
said
reason
it.
I don't even think he done it with his sword. I think he done it with his fingers.
Oh yeah, his fingers.
It's
are
still a
pointed out.
slice. It's still a slice. His finger could be a sword.
This
Sharp as
guy's
a knife.
monstrous. Oh, it could be Newgate because when I look at the silhouette, you can see Newgate's
His,
his
his-
thing. But yeah, man, I
What
can't
if
lie,
it
man.
turns out to be that dragon is a sword? Like, so what do you do?
If dragon's not a sword, we know dragon's
What if
not
it
a
turns
sword.
out?
Bro,
What if it
He's
turns
not a
out?
he's gonna
swordsman.
be. He's a fist. He's a hockey man, man. Like
He's
we
the
don't
only
know
one who
anything
can
about-
defeat Mihawk. He's the only one who can defeat Mihawk.
yeah. He's definitely not a swordsman. That's not.
Mihawk's not
Yeah.
is Zapenta.
Yep.
Zapinta. Hey,
Oh, we have
about
a merch
Zapinta.
coming out for Zapinta.
Yeah, so tell
Guys,
them
we have
about it, man.
dragon merch coming out soon too.
Oh yes,
Yeah, and if
please.
you want to get it, where did it have to go?
Oh, they have to go to animedrip.shop.
AnimeDrip.shop. And how do you get that 10% off? You put the code ABD. You use ABD for your code, and you can get crazy merch. I've said, look at these merch. Show them these merch, man. Look how sick they
All
are.
these merch. Let
They're
me get the
lit.
Nakama merch right now.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. My favorite one so far, the best quality one so far, is the Black Clover one. If you go to the Black Clover options, and you go to Black Clover on shop now, you got this cool Asta and Yummy Supreme drip. Look at them, looking really cool. You got the Astas, you got the freaking. If you want One Piece merch, you go to One Piece, and then you click your One Piece collection. We got many more coming out. Yeah, excluding the Zoro Eye one, which is embroidered. We got the Benta.
Yeah, Zapinta is being cooked up, and Deadbeat Dragon. I have to make
It's
some
coming.
changes to the artwork, and it's coming too.
Dragon is coming, guys.
Yeah.
Coming. All right. So hold up. But yeah,
I don't think
Anime
we
Drip.shop.
should release the dragon merch until I get a sample.
Even I want to.
Yeah, 100%. We're gonna wear it before we put it out, guys.
Yeah.
We need to be the first. But I might make more designs like something like this, something more low key, you know, a bit calm,
Yeah.
relaxed. We're gonna put like a bit more effort into our merch and give you guys something that you guys will love to wear. And if you want to, give us suggestions, you can join our anime-drip.shop membership. And with a couple of dollars a month, you can contribute by giving us ideas and telling us what you like, and we can cook something up. Isn't that
Yep.
amazing, guys? But yeah, man, this chapter's done now. We finished it. Is there anything else you want to say, Sid? Siraj?
Nope. The chapter review is probably gonna be 40 minutes. The editor is gonna love me. But chapter review won't be out until I think Saturday morning this week because we need to put the sponsor on it. They want it Saturday morning.
It wouldn't have gone out tomorrow anyway. Chase the scans also aren't out.
Oh,
And the
they're gonna be
script,
out like in a few hours from TCP.
you have to sit and
Yeah.
cook the script now.
Hey, look, chat
Nah,
said
I can finish the
they're,
script in a few hours.
they're agreeing with what I was saying. It was actually Xebec. Look, and Niladri, what did I say? Niladri said people were saying on Twitter that him slicing the mountain with his finger is like Law using the opi on me. So it was 100% him using his fingers, right? 'Cause why
Bro,
would you-
imagine this is a hint that he had the up on me.
Oh, and the theory doubles down on the theory, bro. I've been saying this for a year. If this happens and it comes true, more than a year, if it comes true, yeah, that Rox is inside Sun.
Through his
You know that,
heart.
innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Because
guys
we
what I meant.
know that like the up me can switch your personalities, right?
Yeah. And not
Oh,
just that,
shit.
Bro.
the heart is the person itself. I feel bad then. But maybe Blackbeard is somehow sharing
What
the
if he
heart.
had
You get it?
two, yeah, exactly, two hearts.
Yeah, two hearts.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't think
sharing
it's
the
a
heart.
third like we think it is. I think it's only two. So like even when Blackbeard is sleeping, Rox is awake. When
Wait,
Rox is sleeping,
but then that way, right? But then that way, it would have to be a completely different way that Blackbeard consumed multiple devil fruits.
I
Because
think the reason why he can have two devil fruits is because of this. Like he has two hearts.
no,
But I
but
don't
if
think
it's
that
if
this
it's
is
Rox's
No,
heart,
no.
then Rox already had the Ape no Mi. He
no,
can't.
but he
Guys, remember the up. No, that's not true. The heart, by the way, the heart is not what gets the devil fruit. Is the body. You proved that
True,
already.
true.
If you go back to Dressrosa,
So
you know when.
so then Blackbeard
Yeah.
just has one body. We're back to square one.
No, yeah, I think
but
it's
we
more.
still
It's
don't know
more.
how is
The,
he extracting the devil fruit. You know that
no, I think
like
there's three ways he can do it, right? There's one way he can extract the devil fruit, but with his power, like the
What
yummy
if,
no mi,
right?
he can absorb the power and then release it into a fruit and then eat it. Think about
What
it like
if,
that.
right? When Rox, because we know that Blackbeard was 2 years old until Rox's death, because Rox was a surgeon, like Trafalgar. If you have the Ape no Mi, you have to be a doctor. You have to be a surgeon. What if when Blackbeard was born, his body was modified by Xebec, similar to what Judge does to his children?
Yeah, yeah, that's actually a good one. I like that. That's a good theory because look, in the end of the day, yeah, his body is the one that's different. It can't, and it has to be his body. Now we already like kind of concluded that it's his body because the body is what gets the devil fruit. You can say the soul too, but it's the soul in the heart because when the heart was switched by the Ope no Mi, the personalities and the person itself were switched. Nami was gone. Sanji was put into Nami's body. Yeah, and who was given Luffy's body? Okay, whatever. Tashigi was given
Luffy
Smoker's
wasn't
body.
switched. Sanji
Yeah,
was
yeah.
given
Tashigi,
Nami's body.
yeah, and
Uh,
Tashigi was given
Frankie was
Smoker's body,
given
and he had
Frankie.
yeah,
as Tashigi had Smoker's powers. It's Smoker and Tashigi's body
yeah.
couldn't use any of his powers, so the powers are always going to remain in the body itself. It's that the body's the host. And now coming back to the devil fruit, the yummy no mi, if it's hosted in the body, let's assume Blackbeard has literally 3 hearts, yeah, and the heart, yeah, it doesn't matter because that represents the stone.
Or
Even then, yeah,
Blackbeard was just fed the by Z fruit, or like that
yeah, that's
mythical
what I
zone
think.
fruit that allows different souls to inhibit by Rox as a
Yeah,
contingency plan. If he does die in this war to rid the world of the celestial dragons, he can like come back and
But that
resurrect
seems
inside of
like
Blackbeard.
that's what I
too
think.
much of a stretch, like to think that
No, I don't think it's a stretch. I tell you why. I think this
All the
death.
pieces
You know
are
what
there.
happened? You know what? Why I don't think it's stretch so right. Think about it like this. Let's say he's a baby, like Bonnie. You know, Bonnie as a baby was fed. She was fed a devil fruit. Yeah, and that's why
yeah.
since a very young age she had it. Now imagine if Rox had a son and realized I want my son. He's gonna be the best amongst the best as well, and he's my backup plan if something happens to me. And he
Yeah.
had a big brain idea. He gave his son the Baizi fruit. So now his son has the teach and it has the Baizi spirit. There's two spirits. But the Baizi fruits allows another spirit to latch onto it, another heart to be stored onto it. Yeah. So when he died, he could have jumped onto Teach. They could have had a contract or something like that. I don't know.
Heart inside of Teach
They-
using the Alpha no Mi's powers.
Yeah,
Bam.
yeah, it could be the mixture between the two fruits, the Ope no Mi and the Baizi fruit. So now Teach has free spirits, the Baizi body, which allows the free spirits or free hearts to be stored into it, which is Teach's heart, what's the name again? Rock's heart, and obviously the Baizi base. So
Yeah.
therefore, there's a free head. That's why you got the free head, and everything's a trilogy.
Because
Yeah.
we know mythical zones are their
But I
own
think like
entities.
look at Rox, like just look at the final panel and he doesn't seem like the type of guy who's planning and just wants answers. He's going for Herald. Just going straight in. Like he's not the type of guy to plan.
Look at his face. Look at this face, Suraj. Does this
He's-
look
he-
like a man?
yeah,
Does
he
this
looks
look like a
then
man who's
again,
gonna
Blackbeard
topple the
also looks like
entire
this.
world government using
So
ingenious
if
tactics
you
for the
by
past
that
20
logic,
years?
yeah, so
Yeah.
Raj, by that logic, do you think just by looking at Blackbeard, he looks like a guy who
Yeah,
plans?
exactly. No, that's what I was saying. He doesn't look like the guy, but in the end, he has plans within plans.
Exactly. I think Rox had plans within plans. How can you survive with having a bounty after killing an admiral? He didn't even have a pirate crew until like
Shout out to
45 years
Zayaf.
ago,
Hey,
right?
shout out to Zayaf Sid, man. Look, my guy, he's a legend, he's a top fan, my guy Zayaf. He had a good point. You know
Yeah.
what Saturn said? He said, "You guys remember Saturn said Blackbeard has a special lineage."
I'm
In the
telling
beginning,
you,
we were saying,
bro. Rox switched up something in his body using the Alpha no Mi surgery powers.
yeah, but we were saying that's just the link to his special lineage to Roxy Xebec, but it could be a special lineage where Xebec also has a special lineage, or his mother has a special lineage, to someone in the past where they are a complete separate entity, like separate human being, like different type of human being. It
Or
could
maybe
be
he's just saying he has a special lineage because he Rox's son.
Roxanne. That's what I thought. That's
Yeah.
the whole idea. That's
That's what everyone
important.
thought at that moment, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but it could be like a physical thing as well.
Anyway, should we end the stream now?
Yeah. All right,
So,
guys.
my
That's
leg's
it.
winning.
All right. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Go get merch from animedrip.shop. We'll see you guys.